That feeling, that persistent sense that something's missing. It's like you can have comfort, maybe even achieve what looks like success from the outside. But underneath it all, there's this quiet but constant longing. Have you ever felt that?
Oh, absolutely. That's a really insightful way to open this up. It speaks to a very core human experience, the sense of yearning that can exist even amidst apparent fulfillment.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's precisely what we're diving into today. We're going to really explore this feeling, this persistent longing, and try to understand what might be at its root and, what perspectives might offer a way to address it.
Yeah.
Our aim isn't to give you a quick fix, but to really dig into the essence of this feeling and consider a viewpoint that might, well, resonate with your own inner experiences.
Now, what's fascinating to consider right from the start is how the very foundations of our beliefs and our understanding of the world have transformed over time, and how that might be intertwined with this persistent longing you're describing.
Okay, let's unpack that. Think about life before, say, the Industrial Revolution. Life was so much more unpredictable, right?
Mm-hmm. Totally different.
People were constantly facing uncertainties, the success of crops, the threat of disease, and there was a much greater reliance on faith, on community for support. There's uh, that powerful image of the sailor.
Oh, the one about the storm.
Yeah. Yes. When asked if he believed in God, he replied, "Sonny, when confronted with a storm on the high seas, there is no such thing as an atheist."
That really sticks with you, doesn't it?
It really does. That image perfectly captures how, when faced with our own fragility and the unknown, we often look beyond ourselves for meaning and solace. In a world governed by forces largely beyond their control, faith offered not just comfort, but perhaps a sense of order in the chaos.
Right. Now, fast forward to today. Technology has given us this incredible feeling of control, or maybe the illusion of control and understanding over so much of our lives.
Yeah, we have explanations now. We have scientific explanations for things that were once mysteries. For many, it seems, the focus has shifted from traditional faith to the tangible comforts and advancements of our modern world. But the question lingers. Even with all this technological empowerment, does it truly eliminate our fundamental vulnerability, that deeper sense of needing something more?
That's a crucial point. While technology undoubtedly offers a sense of mastery over the external, does it truly address our inherent uncertainty about the future, about the bigger questions of existence?
Hmm.
The source material subtly reminds us that life remains unpredictable and, well, in an instant, our sense of control can be shattered.
And here's where it gets really interesting.
Sure.
The source material we've been looking at introduces this idea that maybe we're not fully accounting for another powerful force and this feeling of longing, something it calls the mind.
Ah, the mind, yes.
It's presented as this incredibly subtle entity, and the perspective is that it might actually wield more influence over our thoughts and desires than we typically realize, operating almost beneath our conscious awareness.
What's fascinating here is this shift in focus from external factors to our internal world. The text posits that this mind has a significant role in keeping us attached to the material world.
How so?
By constantly driving us to seek happiness through external achievements and possessions, it makes you wonder if our pursuit of those things is as self-directed as we think it is.
Exactly. So, if this mind is potentially leading us in circles, chasing external things, what's the way out, according to this perspective?
Well, the text points towards a perfect living master as a guide, someone who can lead us towards a different kind of fulfillment.
Oh, through what means?
Through love and devotion, what's referred to as bhakti. It even references Jesus' words, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me.
Okay, so connect that back to the longing we started with.
If we connect this to that initial feeling of longing you described, the text suggests it's not just some random dissatisfaction. It could be a deeper, almost spiritual yearning for connection, for meaning.
Ah, I see.
And this path of love and devotion, guided by a master, is presented as a way to address that inherent feeling of incompleteness.
And this really makes you think, doesn't it? How often do we try to fill that inner void, that sense of something missing?
Constantly, it seems.
The text argues that our minds often misinterpret these deeper longings.
Yeah.
Instead of looking inward, we get caught up in trying to satisfy ourselves with worldly pleasures. The next big purchase, the latest trends, endless entertainment, accumulating more and more stuff.
It's such a common pattern in our modern lives, seeking external validation, sensory gratification. But the key question the text poses, and it's one for, everyone listening to really consider is whether these external pursuits have actually brought you lasting contentment.
Yeah.
Have they truly quieted that inner longing in any meaningful, lasting way?
It's a sobering point, because when you look around, even with all the comforts and opportunities we have, and despite our constant focus on achieving happiness through external means,
Mm.
there are some really unsettling trends.
Like what?
Well, the text touches on this paradox. We're more invested in mental health than ever before,
Mm.
right? With so many resources available, psychologists, antidepressants,
Yeah, there's definitely more awareness.
yet we're also seeing significant increases in things like suicide rates in developed countries. Doesn't seem to quite add up.
That really highlights the potential limitations, maybe, of solely addressing our inner well-being through external interventions. While therapy and medication can be incredibly valuable tools for many, absolutely,
Of course.
the text suggests they might not always be addressing the fundamental source of this deeper, more existential kind of longing.
And it's not just about our emotional state, is it? The text also considers the pursuit of happiness through intellectual understanding, scientific progress.
Well, knowledge aspect.
It even includes that powerful quote from Einstein, something like,
It has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity.
"That's the one. Wow." That quote really encapsulates the idea that while knowledge and technological advancement are important, they haven't necessarily brought us greater inner peace or a deeper sense of fulfillment.
Exactly. And the text brings in Babaji's perspective here, suggesting that we might have an abundance of information, like tons of data.
Yeah, knowledge everywhere.
But what we truly need is understanding, a deeper insight into the root of this inner loneliness, not just more facts.
Understanding, not just knowledge, okay?
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is where the text offers a really different way of looking at that persistent longing.
How so?
It presents the mystical viewpoint that this feeling isn't a flaw or something to be suppressed, but actually a very precious gift from the Lord.
A gift. Interesting.
Yeah, like a way of calling us back to our true nature. Instead of trying to ignore it or distract ourselves from it, it's something to pay attention to, a signal.
This is a significant shift in perspective, isn't it? The text contrasts the mind's constant outward focus, always seeking something external, with the wisdom of saints and mystics who consistently advise us to look within for the answers we seek.
Right, like looking in the wrong place.
It echoes Lao Tzu's profound statement. At the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are, and you know what you want.
The center of your being. And what could we discover there in that inner stillness, according to the text?
That we are fundamentally more than just our physical bodies and our ever-active minds. That we possess a soul, something described as being of, well, indescribable beauty and pure essence.
Wow. Okay. And this naturally leads to a really fundamental question. What is it that the soul truly desires? If it's not more stuff or external validation, what then?
This is where the concept of bhakti, that love and devotion we mentioned earlier, comes back. It's absolutely central. The teachings presented in the text, attributed to Swamiji, emphasize bhakti encompassing devotion, adoration, and love as the very means by which the soul's deep longing can be satisfied.
Devotion, adoration, love.
It's interesting how these three seemingly distinct concepts are presented as different facets of the same core experience, essentially the same thing, just different angles.
It makes a certain intuitive sense, doesn't it? If our fundamental nature is indeed pure spirit, as the text suggests, then the soul's deepest yearning would naturally be to reconnect with that realm of purity, to return to its origin. It wants to go home, in a way.
Exactly. The text even draws a parallel to the biblical concept of humanity being created in God's image.
Oh, interesting connection.
It suggests that this reflects the pure spiritual essence within us. And because of this inherent spiritual nature, the text argues that lasting happiness cannot be truly found through our physical senses, our intellectual pursuits, or even our emotional experiences alone.
Why not? Those seem like the main ways we experience happiness.
Because, according to this view, those faculties, physical, intellectual, emotional, are essentially tools designed for our interaction with the material world. They operate on that level.
Okay, so they're limited to this realm.
Right. So this idea of perfect and constant happiness that we all seem to be striving for, the text says it can only be fully experienced by the soul within.
Within. That's a potentially transformative idea for many people. I mean, it might sound counterintuitive, even strange, to believe that our core essence is one of pure bliss, joy, and love.
Especially when you look around.
Exactly. especially when we look at the often challenging realities of the world around us, conflict, suffering.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't always feel like love is our essence.
It's certainly a significant departure from our everyday experiences, which are often marked by struggle and impermanence. However, the text suggests that encountering a spiritually realized master can offer a tangible glimpse of this reality,
A glimpse.
like a palpable feeling of profound love that seems to just permeate everything in their presence. It's described as a spiritual experience that transcends mere physical or intellectual comprehension. You feel it rather than just think about it.
So it's an experience, not just a concept.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like our true nature, this inherent pure love, has somehow become obscured or forgotten then,
Huh.
covered up.
That seems to be the idea. And the text raises a really fundamental question attributed to Swamiji. How did we, as conscious beings, as pure spirit essentially, become so deeply entangled in this material world? How did we get so caught up in what's described as an ultimately impermanent reality?
Yeah, how did that happen?
The analogy used in the text is quite striking, the idea of our consciousness merging with the material world and identifying with its impermanent aspects, almost like getting covered in dirt, as the text puts it.
Identifying with the dirt.
And Maharaj Charan Singh's description of this state as not living but existing is particularly impactful. It suggests a kind of unconscious state of confinement where we might not even fully recognize our limited condition, just going through the motions.
Wow. Not living, but existing. That's powerful.
Yeah.
But there's a sense of hope offered, right? It's not all doom and gloom.
Definitely not. The text suggests that when we begin to awaken to this deeper longing, when we start to truly yearn for that connection with something beyond the material, that's when help arrives.
Help in what form?
That guiding force referred to as the Lord sends perfect living masters to help lead us back. These masters are presented as living examples of divine will, dedicated to selfless service. They show the way.
Yeah, so they act as guides.
And the emphasis on the master's grace is absolutely key here. The text describes meeting such a guide as an incredibly rare and precious great good fortune.
Really? That fortunate.
Apparently so. And the journey inward, traversing the spiritual path, is presented as something that is ultimately made possible through this immeasurable grace. According to Maharaj Charan Singh, it's not solely through our own efforts, however hard we try. We need that help, that grace.
So ultimately, the text brings the focus back to us, the listener, the individual. It underscores the importance of taking active steps based on the teachings of such a master.
Right, it's not passive.
To begin the process of turning our attention inward, withdrawing it from the constant external chase, to actively strive to cultivate that pure divine love that is our true essence, and ultimately to facilitate our return to our spiritual home, to God.
It's a call to engage actively in our own inner transformation, isn't it? To shift our primary focus from seeking external solutions to nurturing our inner being and reconnecting with our deepest self. It's our responsibility to act on the guidance given.
So to bring it all full circle then, that persistent longing you might feel, that sense that something is fundamentally missing, even when things seem okay on the surface?
Yeah.
According to the perspective we've explored today, it might very well be a call from your own soul, a gentle but persistent reminder of your true nature as love and your eternal spiritual home. Not a problem to be solved, but a signal to heed.
A signal. I like that. And perhaps the most thought-provoking idea to consider as you go about your day is this. If our fundamental nature truly is love,
Yeah.
how might consciously understanding and actively cultivating this inner love not only reshape your own experience with the world, but also fundamentally alter your lifelong quest for happiness? Maybe the search itself changes when you realize what you're truly made of.
That's definitely something to reflect on. If our nature is love, how does that change everything? A powerful thought to end on.